to for the 21st of March 2011. Is it March? Yeah, March. I can't believe it's the 21st already. It is already the 21st of March. First full day of spring. It's the first full day of spring. Happy spring to everyone. And it is number 42. Should I make a crack about the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
This episode is the answer.
Like the universe. Yeah. Okay, now that's done. We can move on. Yeah. I can't believe we've been going for 42 years already.
42 episodes.
Sometimes feel like years.
42 years. Wow. Maybe someday.
Well,
No television show that lasted 40. Well, maybe what's that show? The British show. Coronation Street.
Yeah, Coronation Street, Doctor Who, things like that. That barely counts though.
Well, it's in off and on, right?
Yes, that's so many different incarnations, as they say.
Yeah, literally and figuratively.
Well, we all know that The Walking Dead, there are plans afoot to go as long as they possibly can. So maybe like 42 years.
Wow.
I mean, we will be podcasting for 43 years.
That's true.
We'll be like 90 years old too. Can you imagine? Oh my god. All right. Well, on the program today, we have lots of big news. Walking Dead news. The Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo was on this weekend. We've got listener feedback, and we have a shout out at the end. Okay, how about that? All right. So we start with news.
What the hell?
Why not? We usually do. So as I said, the C2E2 Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo this week, there was a small Walking Dead panel there. I say small because it only had two of the principal actors on it. In fact, only anybody else was there. It was just Lori Golden plays Andrea and John Bernthal plays Shane.
You shouldn't leave those two together alone.
Why would I?
You shouldn't do it.
Okay, whatever you say. You know, Shane and Lori would be a problem.
Well, yeah, but I just think Andrea and Shane. That's a good match.
Well, we have more to talk about that later. But right now, I got some more notes on what was revealed at the panel. Not quite as much, I don't think, as we got from Daily Fest last week or the week before, but still some good information. Probably if there was more people there, it would have been a little more revealed. But one of the big pieces of news is that Lori Golden said Stephen King may write an episode of season 2.
Stephen King, who's that?
I think he's written some books.
Is he a book writer?
He might have written some novels, the odd TV show adaptations, stuff like that.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
I spelled it wrong.
Did I?
Yes, TH.
I apologize for my.
Nobody would ever know if I hadn't pointed it out.
I apologize to Mr. King for spelling his name incorrectly in our notes. Now, you are, I think, a little more acquainted with Stephen King's work than I am.
I'm a big fan.
I have read some books. I have seen movies. I have watched some of his TV adaptations. So I'm certainly not a neophyte. Is that the word? When it comes to Stephen
A
King?
new fight.
That could be entirely wrong. I'm not smart enough to know. But I'm not entirely unfamiliar with him.
Okay.
However, I think you have more insight into Stephen King's body of work.
Okay. So what's your question?
My question is simply, do you think he's a good fit for writing The
I
Walking
think he's perfect for writing Walking Dead. I think he's right up his alley. I think he do a really good job of writing episode.
What's your favorite Stephen King work?
Stephen King, well, that's Dark Tower.
There's a whole series, 19 of those, right?
Well, there's a lot of them, 7 anyway.
And there's another one coming out recently. Is there? I think so. I think it falls in between two of the books.
So I love the Dark Tower series. That was great. Especially the first one.
What is it about the Dark Tower that's so spectacular?
Well, first of all, he wrote himself into the series. Really? Yeah. Stephen King was the character in the novels.
You can do that?
Well, he can.
I guess
They go to his house.
you
The characters go find him. They're like, okay, it turns out we're characters in somebody's book that, and it's blurring lines between reality and this alternate universe that the Dark Tower takes place in. A number of universes.
The word for that is meta. That's weird.
Yeah, so they call walk-ins. So they go to another universe or like in Fringe. They just travel to universes, call walk-ins. And then when they show up and they go, yeah, we talked to Stephen King guy because apparently we're characters in the book that he wrote. So the idea is that Stephen King comes up with the idea of writing these characters that turns out they're real, so he has some insight into the multiverse kind of thing.
Is this kind of a that movie with crap? That movie with that guy where he's a character in a novel? Will Ferrell?
Oh yeah, sort of like that. Anyway, so anytime an author can write himself into the book is good. Sort of like adaptation, remember that?
Yes, I do know that. Now, Stephen King writes himself into The Walking
Oh,
Dead.
I sure heard that. Oh, he does play the parts in his movies.
Interesting. Maybe he'll do it.
Well, he used to. I think he does a lot.
He'll probably do a zombie cameo. I wouldn't be entirely surprised.
I don't know.
But Frank Darabont is Chris.
My name is Dave.
And this is The Talking Dead. No stranger to Stephen King, of course. He's done The Shawshank Redemption and he's done Green Mile. So it doesn't really surprise me all that much that Mr. King might be coming on board for an episode of season 2.
It would be perfect if Stephen King wrote an episode that they were in prison.
Yeah,
That'd be perfect.
it would be perfect.
Shawshank Redemption, Green Mile, Walking Dead.
A little weird.
Darabont, Stephen King.
A little familiar.
A little familiar.
You know, here we are in prison potentially. Obviously, we haven't got to the prison show yet. And we have Stephen King writing an episode there, which is something he's done. And we have Darabont potentially writing, which is, he's done. That would just be a little bit too, I don't know, cosmically aligned or something. That'd be great. A little weird. Anyways, I think Stephen King would do great. I think he'll write a fine episode. Hopefully it pans out. We learned that Frank Darabont will write, but not direct the premiere. Okay. Not sure what that means, but there you go. He's going to be writing.
It's all a matter of focus, right? Apparently he's currently focused on the writing. Sure, right? So, rather than splitting his attention between writing and directing a pilot, just let somebody else direct a pilot while he finishes writing the episode.
There may even be people better qualified to do it than him. So why not? Sure, why not let them? Bernthal said it seems to begin shooting on June 1st. Awesome. It's exciting. We previously reported that it was going to start in May sometime. Right. But June 1st appears to be the date, which isn't that far from May. So there you go. And finally, they haven't read any of the scripts yet. So they ultimately the actors, yes. They ultimately don't know really what's going to happen, even though there's a little bit more information here about some of the details.
So finally the actors open their mouths about what's going to happen in season 2, you know they're full of it.
Probably for the most part. You know, I'm sure they had conversations with the people that are writing it and so on. So they may know.
Contracts and such, you know, like you're on contract for 3 of the 13 episodes, figure it out from there.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. But yeah, contract negotiations, although we don't really have any insight into what the contracts of these actors are, do we? No. We don't know if they were contracted one season, some of them were, some of them weren't. That'd be interesting to find out, actually.
Well, that's the nice thing, is, if somebody doesn't want to come back, get them off.
Well, yeah. I don't know. Here's a question for you and for everyone else. Okay. TV contracts, not something I have a lot of experience with or insight into. Our TV contracts are built in I would imagine, some kind of general way, and so that you're contracted for, let's say, 3 seasons of a TV show. However, there's probably a kill-off clause, so that the producers can decide to kill your character and or remove you from the show without breaking the contract.
Depends on the actor in the show, I suppose.
So you don't
Charlie Sheen, they probably didn't have a kill-off clause on Two and a Half Men.
Would they need that?
Yeah, they needed it. In hindsight, they probably should put that in there somewhere, but they didn't have it. You're not going to kill off a main character. Like Kelsey Grammer decided he didn't want to do Frasier anymore, which is what happened. You're not just going to kill him off and move on and continue on with the rest of the show.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time something like that happens. I mean, characters come and go all the time. Often actors want to leave and they try and continue without them.
Not a show that's named Frasier.
Okay, not a show that's named Frasier.
You know, Cheers, Diane left, right? And that was a big thing on her part. We don't need to do that. But they moved on. It was an ensemble cast, sort of like what The Walking Dead is. You can probably drop a character here and there and still have a good solid show.
Sure, but like, let's say on The Walking Dead, let's say Dale, for example, he is a prime, first-rate number 1 main character. Right. If I can qualify that anymore.
I don't know if
top notch. And Ruby. Yes, Ruby. He, we assume he's going to survive for a long time, as we know lots of differences exist between the TV show and the comic book. So let's say they decide to kill off Dale for whatever reason, if for no reason to surprise the audience a little bit. Right. Jeffrey Munn is a well-known-ish actor. He's been around for a long time. Do you think that they can come to him one day and said, "So Jeff, we're going to kill off Dale in the show. I know you signed for until season 4, but this is what we're deciding to do. Too bad, so sad, see you later."
I think 2 things. One, they probably know the overall story arcs of the characters ahead of time. So when they go to him for a new season, it's like, look, we're thinking of killing off your character in the 8th episode. We're going to tell you after that. You're not going to have the script or whatever. Just we're going to kill you off. We're going to contract you for 8 episodes. Second of all, if they decide halfway through that they're going to kill off an actor, probably the contract is we can kill you off and remove you from the show, but we still pay you for the whole season. Whatever your contract is. We're on the contract. You're just not going to be in the show anymore.
That's an interesting point. There might be some sort of payoff amount that if they kill you, which is essentially firing you from the show, just in a weirder, nicer way, not really that you're being killed, but maybe there's some sort of like buyout that the producers have that they can execute.
That happened to Suzanne Summers in Three's Company. You know much about the behind the scenes of Three's
I
Company?
know much about the in front of the scenes.
Okay, so Suzanne Summers went back, and I think it was after a couple seasons, she basically said the show is completely about me. It's me and these 2 other characters. So I want a hell of a lot of money. They're like, yeah, I don't think so. So what they did was her contract said that she had to make an appearance in every show, like, and they had to pay for the shows. So what they did, the actors really didn't like her anymore. She wasn't any longer the producers, wasn't any longer the cast. So what they did was they said she went home to visit her mom, and at the end of every episode, she was on the phone, and they would have a shot of her talking on the phone, and Jack and Chrissy or Jack and Janet would also be talking on the phone. They would not film at the same time, so the 2 actors would never be in the same place at the same time. So they fulfilled the contract by basically shunting her off to the background of every episode. And that's when they brought in the Chrissy replacement. It was
the other girl.
it was her cousin, right? Basically to fill the spot.
Janet's cousin?
No, it was Chrissy's cousin. Okay. She was the forget the name of the character and the actor. I do know she was a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader at one point, and they brought her in for her looks.
That doesn't help me at all, but I'm surprised that's why they brought her in.
Anyway, so the contracts, her contract in her case said she had to appear in every episode. So she got a 15 to 30 second spot at the end of every episode. But that's it. Right? Writers and producers and directors can be very creative in getting rid of people if they need to.
I suppose that's true. There's lots of when you have a TV show or a movie, I guess more so even a TV show that's longer running, you have options of how to utilize characters. Right? I was trying to think of an analogy to a sports contract, but it's not quite the same. If you want to get rid of someone from your team, I guess there are options, but it often requires buyout of some kind or trade, which is much.
Yeah, trade in TV.
Well, that would be weird. Well, I mean, the trade is much more difficult to pull off because you have to negotiate with a third party. Right. If you just want to relegate an actor to a phone only role, you can do that. Right. Generally, I guess. But if anyone out there has any insight into TV actor contracts, let us know because that's something I'd like to learn more about. So there you go. Lori Holden, also at the C2E2 panel, when asked about some of the details of season 2, said, "I know you're going to get to Herschel's farm." There you go. We kind of already knew that, but it's basically confirmed at this point. They're going to get to the farm. She also said, "I can't wait to get to the prison." Tyrese and Michonne and the governor, we've got some very badass people we're going to meet, but I don't think we will get to the prison in season 2 because there's a lot to do. But we haven't read the script, so we don't know.
She's just talking about the conflict. she knows what happens in comic books, and she's excited about some of these things being used in a television show.
True. I think that's true. But we have our own theories on what's going to happen. But as we said, the actors I think don't really have any clue at this point. Other than the farm, that seems to be set in stone at this point. We'll see. Holden also claims to know exactly what Tanner whispered to Rick. She said that 2 versions were shot, one with audible dialogue, one without. Now I have a problem with this statement. That, dialogue in TV and I guess movies undergoes a lot of ADR. Right. After dialogue replacement, I believe that's what that stands for, where the actors go to the studio and re-record their lines, right, so that the audio is top-notch quality. Right. If you're shooting out on location somewhere, and those mics are only doing so much. Right. So why would they shoot? Why would they shoot it where he sort of says louder one, whispers it?
They may have shot it so you can see his lips moving. One shot where he's actually whispering and say, "I like this kind of thing," and another shot where the lips are masked and you don't hear. So I think it might be a visual thing for that shoot rather than just a purely audio thing.
I'm not so sure. I mean, they can shoot it once, whether he says it loud or not, and then completely re-edit and recreate the audio. Everything they need can be done for audio editing.
Maybe some special features of the DVD.
Well, I don't know. One day we're going to watch them. I'll let you know.
Might get the special features of season 2.
Yes, could be. We could find out then.
I just might put on season 1. Tell us what the hell.
I just think it's weird that she would even say we shot one with audible dialogue multiple times. It doesn't make sense to me. Multiple takes, absolutely. They might need to shoot it a few times for whatever reason. But to shoot it with audible and not dialogue, when they would probably do all in post anyways.
Or maybe they shot it where the actual line is read and the actors could hear it, and then they shot it where the line is not read. It's just a
Right. I don't know. I think it sounds a bit fishy to me.
I don't think it sounds fishy.
Okay, fine. We'll see. We'll find out what was said, and then we'll move on to not caring more. Finally, Berthel had this to say on Shane. He said, I think we're going to see a guy who's really, really lonely when season 2 starts. And he cautioned that it's kind of lonely that Shane feels to lead him to do some terrible things. Poor Shane. He's going to have a hard time, living with the events around him, I think.
She finds something on the way.
He should. And I think he may in season 2. The more I think about it.
More to come.
Yeah, he sure does. I was going to say, the more I think about it, I don't think Shane is going to survive season 2.
I hope not. Really? Yeah, really. I hope not. I hope they stick with the comic book enough where they take somebody who's obviously a principal character and kill him off. I think that would be great.
Well, I mean, we all know why we're expecting him to be killed off, right? But again, it's they decided to extend his character a little bit to mix up with the audience, right? Why wouldn't they just keep that going as long as they can? Because as we talked about, there are certain things that could may or may not happen in the show, or even if it happens in a completely different way in the comic book, we're probably going to see it coming from a certain, for a certain amount of time, right? And I mean, I guess there's no way around that I can think of. So I don't know. I think they're going to kill him off. I just wouldn't be surprised if they drag it on for a long time. Very good on. There you go.
Well, I might see Shane sticking around for a while. I think they can definitely play that kind of thing out. But I do want him to follow his arc as the same as in the comic book. And if that happens in season 2, I'd be okay with that.
Sure. I mean, I guess if they drag it on too long, it becomes something that's hanging over the show a little bit, right? He's always there when maybe he shouldn't be, but they really have to find a way. If they're going to keep him around, they really have to find a way that makes sense, right? And I guess there's ways to do that. We'll see these smart people and they know what they're doing. That they do. Next item in the news this week. Let's play some word association.
All right, let's do it.
When I say Edgar Wright, what do you think of?
Sean Penn for some reason.
That's not correct.
The word association is no correct answer.
No, in this case there is. Edgar Wright is, of course, the director of...
Ron Wright Penn. That's why I was thinking about Sean Penn.
There you go. That was the correct answer.
Well, there's a bit of a jump there. I didn't understand it at first, but I don't know why Sean Penn jumped in my head.
Well, Edgar Wright, the director of such films as Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and Scott
Well,
Pilgrim.
there you go. I saw Sean of the Dead, Sean Penn, Ron Wright Penn. And all of them is Rich Tapperty.
It does sort of work now that you point out. And of course, the old British TV show Space, which I don't know if you've seen.
I have.
Okay, good. You've seen all those movies?
Oh, yeah.
Good. He has been asked to direct an episode of Walking Dead season 2. Edgar Wright is awesome. I don't think I dislike any of his movies. I certainly like all the ones I just listed.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think all the main ones. There could be others.
Simon Pegg's in the episode.
That would be cool. I'd go for that. Why not? Even if he was Simon Pegg good and everything. What do you think?
Ron Fat Boy one was kind of iffy.
Ron Fat Boy wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I didn't mind it. And considering it was directed by David Schwimmer, I thought it was actually kind of successful.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yes, Ross Geller.
Yeah, I dropped down a couple of notches in my head.
No, I think that makes the movie better because he's sort of risen above my opinion of him directing an okay movie.
Yeah.
The movie, what I'm trying to say, the movie turned out better than it would have been based on my opinion of his directing ability.
All right, if I had known that David Schwimmer had directed that before going in, I wouldn't watch it.
And that's my point. Now you watch it, and it was better than you thought. No, you wouldn't even give it a chance if you don't.
I didn't like it.
No, well, fine. I thought it was pretty good. Anyhow, so Collider, popular website, interviewed Wright at All of the Frost at South by Southwest, and he said Frank asked him to do Walking Dead, but I think it's something like that. With some TV shows, you want to be on the ground floor. I guess mean that he doesn't want to just fly and do an episode and then get out of there. It's kind of a seagull management approach to things. Fly and shit all over everything and then get out.
Yeah, you do what the script says.
Yeah,
Better.
exactly.
One more time. All right, good. That's some classy directing right there.
Exactly. He doesn't want to be that kind of guy. He also said, I really enjoyed the first season. I wouldn't want to be the guy that comes in and F's up. So that's basically summing up right there. Nick Frost said, he probably would too. So he would. He did that for sure. Yeah, exactly.
So does that mean he's not going to do it?
I think it's still in here. Similar to Stephen King writing episode, Edgar Wright directing one is not set in stone yet.
That'd be cool.
It sounds like it would be very cool, but it sounds like he's leaning towards negative. Now, what do you think? What if they let him write it as well as direct? Because he's a writer for all his films, and I'm sorry, but I think the writing all his movies is pretty damn good.
Yes, I would agree with that. I'm not sure the writing style that of the movies that are listed there anyway would fit with The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I mean, he's
It's a little more comic.
It's a little more comic,
a little more hammy.
All of his movies have a really, I don't know if serious is the right word, but they definitely got an emotional aspect to them in addition to the comedy.
Yes,
Especially Shaun of the Dead.
But you have to, once you remove that comedy, is it there? Is the quality still there? As a counterpoint to the comedy, yes, absolutely. But you take away the comedy, I'm not sure that I'd like to see some of his dramatic works before I could make an informed opinion whether or not right and right.
You're right. He's able to find a really good balance between the sort of comedy and the drama, the comedy and emotional stuff.
The Walking Dead does not work as a comedy.
No, it doesn't really work as a comedy. So you're right. If you take that away, it might end up being crappy. But then again, it also might be really good. I would give it a chance. Being one of my favorite directors, I would give Edgar Wright a chance.
Yeah.
He's working on Ant-Man now, apparently.
Why not really?
I don't know anything about Ant-Man, to be honest.
I think shrink down size of an ant, I believe.
Well, that's what I would assume. But
Or it's about 600 legs
an antenna.
and an eye. The thorax.
Yeah, exactly.
Who knows? The thorax.
So anyway, Edgar Wright doesn't sound like he's going to do it, but I would be excited if he was.
Yeah, you were.
And you were. There you go. Entertainment Weekly. While the cast and crew was at Paley Fest, by the way, I would just like to point out that listener Jason on our Facebook page posted a comment to say it's pronounced Paley Fest. So all Pally and Play and all that stuff that we found out there, all incorrect, and I wanted to thank Jason for saying us straight. I think he probably pronounced it as I said, every which way except the right way.
Paley.
Paley Fest. While we were there, Entertainment Weekly did a quick question and answer session with Robert Kirkman. He had this is a first Andrea. I think of her as the strongest character in the cast, even more so than Rick. She has a unique skill that develops that will allow her to possibly survive completely on her own.
Tough as nails.
Tough as nails. More exciting, or at least more entertaining part of the interview is that Entertainment Weekly asked Kirkman to give them odds of certain things happening in season 2. They said, can you ballpark the chances that in the next season we will see Tyrese? Kirkman said, I give Tyrese 69. No, 68% chance of showing up.
Oddly specific.
Very specific. The Governor, 0% chance. Third season, 92%.
Oh.
So Mr. Governor, it looks like it's time in season 3, actually. Hey, it's going to mean nothing. Yeah. Michonne. Kirkman said, we're looking 50-50 right now, Michonne. We're in the writer's room right now trying to sketch out a season 2 plan. Anyone who knows how that process works knows that stuff changes day by day. We are in the massive brainstorming phase. We are talking it all out.
So a lot of people are like, oh, look at this.
Yeah, but that's probably the most serious answer he gave to those questions. So I really do think that they're struggling right now with whether or not to introduce her to the show in season 2.
And from that answer, we can take a look at the previous two and say that Tyrese is going to show up and the government will not.
I would say so, yeah. If they're really considering it, they're at 68% chance Tyrese right now. That's pretty good odds.
Yeah, so that was a joke. Obviously, he's going to show up. And if we're making a form, then yeah.
Yeah, if we follow the chronology of the comics, he's going to show up. We've got to call that later in the show full play. Right. Finally, Entertainment Weekly asked what about Morgan and his son? And Kirkman said, as much as everyone would like it to be 100%, because everyone loves 90 games. And we're just dying to get him back in the show as soon as possible. I think those odds are probably 65-35. He's such a great actor. We want them both back as soon as possible. So maybe not exactly. Of all those, I would be most interested in seeing Morgan and Wayne and probably Tyrese.
I want Michonne.
I do want her to, but I can wait. I can wait till the goods. All right, good stuff. Tyrese is a good character.
He is a very good character.
He's like, some of the stuff that goes down early on in his introduction is pretty awesome. Yeah. Okay, moving right along. No romance between Andrea and Dale. Actually, I should phrase that. No romance between Andrea and Dale.
Yeah, there's a question mark.
That's more of a question. I think this also came from the Chicago Entertainment Expo, but it was reported on digitalspy.com and it was attributed to IGN. I'm not 100% sure if it was at the Expo or not. Lori Holden told IGN, I think that Andrea's going to punish Dale for a little while. I think that she's really very resentful that he manipulated her like that because I think that she really wanted to check out and be with her sister. She's of course referring to the events in the Center for Disease Control at the end of the first season.
I don't know.
I think there's going to be a bit of tension between Andrea and Dale. She said, I don't think it's going to go into lovey-dovey mode for a while. Right. That What do you think about that? That seems to counter kind of what they were hinting at in the first season.
It does, but they also want to keep that tension there because we know that all TV shows that have a love interest kind of story, as soon as you have the love interest actually manifest, the show goes to pitch very deep.
It usually is the case, unless they find a super ultra creative way to do it, like Fringe,
Right.
which I've been watching
Really, much into it.
much. The other show that comes to mind right now that I watch is Castle.
Right.
There's more romantic tension there than in any show I have ever watched.
They can't resolve that. Like, they can't actually have the romance manifest itself because then it's the whole moonlighting thing all over again. We can't have moonlighting.
No, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work at all on Castle. So
Even in Fringe, it's the whole kind of thing. It's, relationship manifest, but no, we can't have that. So, we introduce a level of tension again, and you cannot just have, now we're happily together and everything's good.
yeah, on TV they got to draw these things out a little bit. The Walking Dead is in a slightly different place because of the size of the cast. I think they can have characters get together without jumping the shark,
Right.
or
They can.
ruining the dynamic. I mean, they only have together. It makes sense in a lot of ways, and it's just two characters out of 10 or 15
That's
however
true.
many we have at the time.
Yeah, it's not the prime character, and that romantic tension is not the catalyst for plot.
Exactly. Where on a show like Castle, well, it practically is. They basically do crime every week, but that's all secondary. The way they play
Well, it's like moonlighting.
I never saw that.
Oh, man, it was great show. Sybil Shepherd and what's the bald guy? Very, very famous. Bruce Willis.
Oh, Bruce Willis. Yeah. Was he? That's a long time ago. Was he on it?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It was like 3 or 4 seasons. These two had a detective agency and they were solving crimes, and there was some. That was a great show. Oh, was in it.
Revenge of the Nerdsburger?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Anything he's in, I'll watch. Mostly Revenge of the Nerdsburger, maybe. So there you go. We'll see Henry and Dale get together. I'm gonna have it right away. So we got a bunch of quicker news items to finish off the news segment here.
Lightning round.
The lightning round. The AMC Walking Dead blog has posted a bunch of behind the scenes photos. Now, if you're listening earlier, you may have heard us mention that we haven't watched special features on the DVD yet, which yeah, it is really shameful. But we're going to do that and then have a probably episode about what we see there. So I'm not 100% sure if these photos were released are on the DVD.
Right.
But regardless, they're pretty awesome. If you want to head over to the Walking Dead blog, there's some really, really neat behind the scenes stuff there. The first one is of Bicycle Girl on the ground reaching towards the camera, and you can see the blue sort of pants she has on for blue screening those legs out. There's all kinds of really great stuff just of them setting up shots, and there's one on the horse with the camera and see where they're looking. There's you can see camera guys like amongst the zombies as Rick is on the ground outside of the tank and all that kind of stuff. It's really quite a fascinating group of pictures. There's a really great one where Rick is running from the tank towards the land, and there's a cameraman running behind him with an SLR in his hand, just like shaking the camera right behind him. It's pretty cool. So if you're into that, go check it out. Oh, and of course, the guy shooting from the back of a motorcycle. The motorcycle steady. It's pretty cool. So lots of good stuff. If you're into behind the scenes pictures, head over to the Walking Dead blog, check those out, or potentially watch them on DVD or Blu-ray. I'm not 100% sure.
Potentially.
Yeah. Film School Rejects. Is that a website you've ever been to? Nope. It is a film news blog type site. They have developed a Walking Dead drinking game. For those of you that enjoy to have a beverage now and then, you can now watch your Walking Dead DVDs and drink along with the action.
Let them say, that's why you drink.
No, that's true.
Have a glass of milk.
You can drink whatever you want. Take a drink when a zombie is killed.
There you go.
A zombie kills someone. A minute of screen time passes without a zombie.
Okay, come on. It's not really a drinking game. It's just a matter of have a whole beer every 14 seconds.
Well, that's the game or something. Take a drink when you see a gunfire, a dead body.
Okay, so say the fire got a zombie that gets killed, he gets a headshot. 2 drinks.
Yeah, a gunfire and a zombie killed.
All right.
There you go. Take a drink when someone says geek. Right. A racial slur, a person's name. That seems reaching a little for that one, I think. Chug your drink when all hell breaks loose. Loose. Yes.
Okay, I think this is excessive.
Well, it's not much of a game because you're drinking all the
You're
time.
drinking all the time. You drink whether the zombie on the screen or whether the zombie's on the screen. Drink when somebody doesn't say someone's name. I'm gonna put that on there.
Yeah, you might as well. Just drink. Just watch the drink a beer. Yeah, or 10. But hey, if you're into that sort of thing, head over to Film School Rejects. You can find it there on the link in the show notes. MTV, remember how they're making a video game of Walking Dead?
I do.
MTV spoke to Kirkman about the video game and asked when players would operate as the series, whether players would operate as the series' main character crimes, mix all survivors or entirely new characters. Kirkman said he could neither confirm nor deny whose perspective will play in the game. Go figure. He went on to say we'll be playing as characters from The Walking Dead for sure, and different levels we play as different people, so we'll see. There you go. So that's kind of fun. Yeah, we speculated that we might not have any of the characters that we know, and maybe a completely different set of people in the same universe, right? But that's not the case.
Okay, so the fact that there are levels and you are going to be playing characters, this could be a platformer.
It's well,
Episodic.
for sure. Yes, it's episodic.
Well, no, it sounds like a platform game.
No,
You
I don't
have
think
to jump the pit of snakes.
that would be weird. We'll fall into the snakes.
What was that game called? Intelligent Days. Where you had Indiana Jones character who was swimming across lines and over pits and Pitfall.
Pitfall. Yeah. Yes. I don't think it's going to be Pitfall.
They should make a TV show called Pitfall.
I'm surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm sure somebody saw it.
Big Doug.
Yeah, Big Doug, the movie Kubert. I bet all these things have been considered. No doubt with the lack of original ideas and all of these things. So there you go. You play as characters from Walking Dead, and different episodes might involve different characters. All right, fun. Finally, 2 more things. Will the Vatos return soon? The IMDb lists Neil Brown Jr., who plays Guillermo in season 2, episode 1. My notes for this are meaningless. Probably.
Wow, it's the incorrect movie database, right?
Yeah. So they fill out the actors for the first episode of season 2. They include all the names plus him. Right. I don't know why, but he's there. So if there is any chance, I suppose there's some chance of him or some of the Vatos being in the first episode, wouldn't entirely surprise me. I mean, these characters are leaving CC. They have nowhere to go. Why wouldn't Rick go? Hey, wait a minute. Maybe let's go back there and see if we can, sleep the night with those guys. That's true. It makes sense. Really, some of the only living people that they can capture.
It's not a bad idea, actually.
So I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, here's the final news item of the day, and this is something that's been hanging around for a while, but I've just chosen. I made a conscious decision not to address it until right now.
Okay. And you're going to explain why you consciously decided to address this now?
Not really. No, not really. But it seems to have resurfaced in the news recently, and that is the Charlie Sheen issue.
Yeah.
Back in December, there was a rumor that Sheen would do a cameo as a zombie on the show.
Right.
And at the time, AMC and producer Galen Hurd shot it down. They said, no, not gonna happen, not even works. Right. And I thought, this is just a rumor that somebody started because Charlie Sheen is losing his mind, and someone thought it would be funny to say, hey, he'll be a zombie on The Walking Dead, because that was a cool thing to do.
Because he's a zombie in real life.
Yeah. And they said, no, that's not gonna happen. Now, on March the 6th, which was just 2 weeks ago, the Hollywood Reporter, a very reputable news source for all things Hollywood, published a story that quotes Kirkman as follows: Charlie, call us. We will totally make that happen, he says, speaking from the Paley Center Walking Dead event. We'll do whatever you want. We'll recast you as Rick, says Kirkman. And we'll find something else to do. Now, the Hollywood Reporter article does acknowledge that he was saying these things
Sarcastically.
in cheek, very sarcastically. But the fact is they reported on it, and the rest of the internet reported on this in a much more serious fashion. They didn't seem to, they either quoted him out of context or they didn't attribute the fact that he was just being silly. So there's a whole bunch of people that probably genuinely believe that Charlie Sheen is going to be on Walking Dead, and I didn't want to foster that at all by talking about it.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, the internet is a cohesive collection of conscientious people that only write the truth.
And by that you mean it's a bunch of morons that don't know what they're doing. Us
Oh,
included.
yeah, absolutely. Maybe even us specifically.
Yeah, probably. Kirkman said maybe he directed an episode.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So the other day at C2E2, Holden,
You can't actually put Charlie Sheen in anything. He's not responsible enough to feed himself, I bet. He's got his posse around him, making sure that he actually eats something, I'm sure.
well, I think he eats a lot of cocaine himself.
Yes, I'm sure he's quite capable of doing that.
And hanging around with porn stars.
Also, within his skill set.
Acting on a show right now, not so much.
Incapable.
And not only that, not even able to play a zombie.
Well, you have to have the man sit still for a number of hours to put makeup on.
And that's what
And then get him to follow direction.
He'd need a cocaine nose stuffer while he was sitting still, probably.
He would need a lot of medication. And even then, you don't work with kids or dogs or Charlie Sheen.
He's
bringing
bringing
that effort.
kids, dogs, or Charlie Sheen. He's bringing his crazy nut bar stage shows to Toronto.
He's never going to make
You don't think? No. You think he's just gonna crap out?
He's going to crap out and cancel the whole thing. He's never going to make it to Toronto. There's no way he can have that level of commitment and follow through.
The thing I heard today, it sold out 45 minutes.
No doubt.
Probably $100 a ticket. Does this signify the downfall of humanity?
No, humanity's been downfalling much more significantly than this for quite some time.
Well, I agree that it's been downfalling for a long time, but I'm not so sure more significantly. This guy sold out a national tour to go on stage and just be an ass.
Yeah.
And be an ass in real life. You know what I think? I think this is publicity stuff.
The whole thing?
The whole thing. I think he was probably going down that path. He was probably doing drugs, probably hanging out with porn stars. Somebody came along and said, Charlie, smarten the hell up, but we're gonna use this.
All right, so let's learn from Joaquin Phoenix. You tried it. It didn't work, but I think you can do a better job.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix, the whole time it was an act.
I know, that's what you're saying. This is.
It was, but it didn't work. It did work.
I don't think it worked.
That movie apparently was decent.
I'm
I'm not sure. I haven't seen it, but I heard it.
This was supposed to be a very big thing, this whole big movement. It kind of just fizzled. It didn't work.
Yeah, okay,
It was sort of a plan, no doubt, but I don't think it worked.
You may be right, it didn't work. Charlie Sheen has sold out a national tour of stage shows. That seems to be working. Getting people
No, I
together.
don't think he can.
And if this is all an act, it doesn't pull together. He's just gonna do
If
it.
it's not all an act, then if he finishes the tour, then we know it's all an act.
Especially if he comes back and they bring him back on 2.5 Men and they just continue. I mean, it'll obviously fake that.
So you think he's a genius rather than a.
That's a tough stretch. Genius is not the right word.
You
But
think that he's got a plan, and it's sort of what's his name? Man in the Moon, guy played Leica.
yeah, Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman. He tried the same thing. Tried to be a wrestler. He wanted to wrestle women. It was supposed to be a comic routine. Everybody ended up hating the son of a bitch.
Well, it's a dumb idea.
Yes.
And this, I don't know. He's only harming himself.
Yeah.
To bring us back to The Walking Dead, if he came on the show, he'd be harming not only himself, but the show.
Yeah.
So, Charlie, please don't go on The Walking Dead. And everybody, stop talking about it.
It's not going to happen.
He's not worth your time, and he's not worth our discussion. So, there you go. I hope there's no Charlie Sheen. Huge fans out there. Just,
I've never seen an episode of 2.5 Men.
I've seen bits and pieces. I happened to turn it on one day, or was looking around back when I still had TV, and Megan Fox was on. So I watched a few minutes of her, and I moved on.
Megan Fox.
Transformers.
Right.
You know,
She's overrated.
as an actress, sure.
No, as everything. I don't find her
As
attractive.
a human being.
No, as in everybody finds her like the sexiest thing alive, and I just don't see it.
You've all got different taste.
I do.
I don't know about sexiest thing alive, but I wouldn't take care of it. So,
Your wife might.
Oh, probably.
You get out.
You never know. So there we go. That's the news for this week. And I don't think we're going to talk about Charlie Sheen anymore, unless he ends up on the show, and then we'll be talking about how this is the last episode of Talking Dead.
No, we won't do that.
I
We'll
will.
we'll definitely dedicate a show to it.
Yeah.
Charlie Sheen on The Walking Dead. We'll pull all stops and go see the show and talk about and watch an episode of 2.5 Men.
We won't cancel the podcast. We'll do the opposite.
We'll dedicate the entire podcast to Charlie Sheen. Where's the Charlie Sheen podcast? I'm Charlie Sheen private podcast.
Well, he did that video thing that I didn't even know about until the next day.
Yeah, probably wasn't happy with that.
It wasn't
Probably wasn't happy with
that I didn't know about it?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Whatever.
we do Charlie Sheen podcast.
Why not? We have to do a lot of drugs. That's just
No,
not
we talk about him doing a lot of drugs.
Oh, I see.
We had his whole family talk about Emilio Estevez.
The Sheencast. The Charlie cast. Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
What we should do is just branch out and make celebrities on coke podcast.
Not a bad idea too.
Celebrities on coke cast.
We didn't start by talking about Richard Pryor.
Yeah,
Good man.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of people. All right, next podcast, celebrities doing drugs.
Celebrities on drugs.
Let's take a quick break. Thank you everybody for listening. We'll be right back, and we have some feedback, and then wrap it up.
Looking back through the chapters of your life, searching for storyline. Strong you living out in another video. See goodbye to your friends, don't know what to do. Moving on.
All right, thanks for listening, everybody. We have a call this week, and it's called Clarify, something that we talked about last week. This is Mike from Arizona. Here we go.
Hey, this is Mike from Arizona. I just wanted to let you guys know, Tyrese showed up before Will Shire States, and he has a daughter and her boyfriend with him, and then they kill each other, and Tyrese goes to start with them. So he's definitely there beforehand. And also, I'm pretty sure he shows the show in the second season. Maybe with Tyrese, hopefully. All right, bye.
Thank you, Mike from Arizona. So we have to clarify when exactly Tyrese shows up and the details surrounding it, and so Mike did that. Excellent. Yeah, I forgot about his daughter and boyfriend showing up and then killing themselves.
I knew there was additional characters around Tyrese. I had forgotten exactly who they are. Really, what happened.
I'm going to make a prediction right now. Pretty quick. The crew that we currently know on the TV show, the cast, are going to first go back to the Vatos. Right, they're going to spend a night or two with them. For whatever reason, they're going to have to leave. Maybe lack of resources, maybe not enough room, anything like that. Then they're going to move on. They're going to end up at Herschel's farm, and they're going to meet Tyrese and potentially his daughter and boyfriend already at the farm. I don't think you're going to meet along the way. I don't think we're going to get any Wilshire Estates. They're going to go right to the farm. Tyrese will already be there, and then the farm will be the bulk of the season.
I'm going to predict something.
And
I predict that you are incorrect. I think Vatos is good. I think they're going to be on the road. I mean, Tyrese and his daughter are both on the road.
And there's going to be some sort of standoff, and they don't know if they can trust each other.
Yeah, there's going to be kind of, your typical, who the hell are you? Who the hell am I? Who the hell are you?
Right.
And then we get to know each other and okay, we'll walk over to wherever.
Take the farm.
Hey, let's check out the farm. I think Wilshire Estates can play that. We really need the episode.
I do. I like the idea of Wilshire Estates, but I have a feeling they're going to see it move right into the farm, so they can draw out the farm plot lines a little bit more.
Right, and that's where they all encounter the USS Enterprise.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. The aircraft carrier, not the station.
Yes. Why are they capturing aircraft
Because I think that's the right thing to do. If you're going to try and get away from zombies, be an aircraft carrier. I guarantee that aircraft carriers during the zombie apocalypse are just going to go to sea, and there'll be like havens of military might floating cities.
You land plane on, dude.
That's the whole point of them.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Mike. We got an email, Carl from Birmingham, UK, or Birmingham. He says, "Hi, I just wanted to throw this one casting suggestion out there. James Cromwell to play Herschel. Discuss." He says he would be absolutely perfect in my opinion. While on the subject, have you got any dream casting you'd like to share? Before we talk about James Cromwell, I'd just like to say that Carl will probably do a new character fantasy cast when we get a little bit closer to season 2. Right. We did one for season 1 before many of the cast members were known, and podcast regular friend of the show, Dave, called Michael Woodard to be on the show. I think he called him to play Dale. It was just fun to see him show up anymore. So we'll definitely do a dream casting closer to season 2. Right now, I don't have a ton of thoughts on who plays some of these characters. But let's talk about James Cromwell. Do you know who this man is?
I do know James Cromwell. I like James Cromwell.
I'm kind of springing this on you, but of course you will know him from 24, for example. He played Philip Bauer, is that Jack's father? Okay. You'll know him from 60 Under. Yep, another show that I know you
Great
like.
character in 60 Under.
You'll know him from lots of movies. And
Star Trek
really?
movie. Yeah, Star Trek First Contact.
There you go. The role I know him most from right now, currently, is the farmer in Babe.
Yes.
My kids watch that a lot, so I've seen him there quite a bit. But he's been around forever. He's done lots.
Solid actor.
Shows, definitely a solid actor. And I just found out that his birthday is the day after mine. Nice. So what do you think? Briefly, your thoughts on James Cromwell as Herschel?
I think he's great. I think perfect. He's got the right look for him. He's a solid actor. He did a good job. He played what's his name, the Queen's consort in the Queen.
Yes, he played
What's his name?
the king.
No, he's not the king. He's the Wales.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. He's an Robot too. He's the doctor.
Yeah, I think he played a good guy. He played a bad guy. I think he can do comedy. He can do drama. I think he's got a great range. He played president in
West Wing.
he played president in West Wing.
Well, he was on the West Wing. He played President D. Wire Newman. Who the hell is that? I didn't watch the West Wing.
I don't recall that.
He was on one episode.
President Newman.
Well, the characters list that.
Well, I'm trying to remember.
You go back and check that.
I will. I have all the West Wings. Just go ahead and watch them all. There's only 7 seasons and 24 episodes per season.
Prince Philip on the
That's
West Wing. He played Captain Stacy in Spider-Man 3 when Stacy's dad. I guess.
Yeah.
There you go. So he gets around. George H.W. Bush, Senior Bush in W.
Yes.
There you go.
Never watched that.
I like that movie. I thought it was pretty good. So and then lots of other things. He's been acting for many years. His credits on the IMDb go back to 1955. Although that was when he was a teenager. His next credit is 1974, The Rockford Files.
Oh, so that was on the other day. I didn't watch 15 minutes of it.
He did an episode of MASH.
I have the Rockford Files as a ringtone for my phone.
And he did an episode of Three's Company. Speaking of Three's Company.
He was in Three's Company?
In the episode, Christine Knight, he played Detective Flanagan. So you know some hijinks where they're
Oh,
going
that's
that rape. Yeah, so there you go. I think I agree with you. He is a perfect actor to play Herschel. He has a long wig on the guy and he have him grow a beard or something. He'd be just crazy enough, and I think he'd fit in really well.
That'd be great.
Carl,
Why is he being on?
oh, go figure. So you know what, Carl, you may know something we don't because I say this casting is practically guaranteed.
I think he's going on my dream casting list for Herschel.
I think so. When we do actual Dreamcast, I'm gonna see if I can find anyone else that would be better. But James Cromwell is the man. LA Confidential, did you see that one?
I did.
I don't remember it. But I
LA
heard
Law,
that.
did you go wrong?
Yeah, exactly. So there we go. That's awesome. We'll do ours closer to season 2 sometime with the summer. I think that'd be awesome. We'll get Dave on to do this first.
Megan P.I. Mr. Belvedere.
See, there was nothing he wasn't in.
Great resume.
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna have Walking Dead. We'll see. David on our Facebook page wrote, "Bought the Walking Dead DVD box set. Awesome purchase." I asked him if he had seen it when it broadcast on TV or if the DVD was his first exposure. And he said, "I only saw episode 5 when it was on TV. Then due to financial reasons, I had to shut off my cable." David, I'm sorry to hear that. So I watched all the episodes of the game in one sitting, and I finally watched DS19. What an awesome finish to a great season.
That's unfortunate. You had to shut it off before the final.
It's kind of sad, but I'm glad he got up, and I'm glad he picked up the DVDs and got caught up. So David, thanks for posting on the Facebook page. If anybody else wants to do that, head over to facebook.com/TheTalkingDead and share your thoughts. Finally, before we wrap things up here today for the day, once in a while I like to just give a shout out to some new Twitter followers because I appreciate those folks and it's nice to have them and know that they're paying attention and listening. So this week I'd like to just shout out to new followers. I'm Mario. I am ARIU.
Thank you.
Nibbles 2.
I got no thank you.
Shogo_67.
Close enough. Thank you.
Rick TWD. Rick from The Walking Dead is following us. And Maxi_LP. Those are all Twitter names of new followers we've got. Thank you.
Long play.
There you go. Thank you for following us. Not just you 5, but everyone out there on Twitter. And thanks for listening. Paying attention.
Twitter's 5 years old now.
Today, right?
I don't know if it's today, but generally
So this week.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Twitter. I've only been using you for about 2 years.
Yeah, I haven't tweeted in
About 2 years.
in a while.
You should tweet about the show every week. Please do that.
I tweet right now.
Go right ahead. Twitter. That's going to wrap up our program for this week, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. As I've said, if you would like to contact us, you can do so at talkingdeadpodcast@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at Talking Dead. Maybe you'll get your Twitter name read out on the show. Very exciting. Or as I said a minute ago, you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/thetalkingdead. Jason, what's the phone number they can call if they would like to leave a voice
Oh, good lord, man. What's the zombie line? 1-8 something.
It is the Zombie line.
I'm going to say like 206 209 1538. Don't use that number.
You might get something, you might not. I don't know what it is. If you want to call us, please dial 1-866-433-0MB. That is an entirely free, toll-free call, so it doesn't cost you a penny. I guarantee neither of us will answer the phone.
That's guaranteed.
It really is. I also guarantee, or nearly guarantee, that we'll play your comments on the air. You can look at the comments, unless they're profanity-laced tirades. And you know
Nothing wrong with that.
No, you know. That's going to do it. Thanks, everybody. We'll be back in a week or two with episode number 43, which is not the answer to life, universe, and everything.
No.
Until then,